to do today. This is life. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. I got to go ahead, man. I got to tell you a story, though.
Oh, hit me, man. Go for it.
Oh, that reminded me a lot of the story of Jonah in the Bible. God says, hey, Jonah, like, this is an awesome story. God's like, Jonah, I need you to go to Nineveh because these people are beyond wicked. And I need you to go over there and I need you to tell them that they need to turn away from their evil ways. And Jonah's like, no, I can't do this. So what he does, he just runs away and he gets on this ship and he takes this ship to another, like this island. And while he's on the ship, God sends a storm. And the storm is, it's just swaying the ship back and forth. The winds, they've never seen this. The whole crew is freaking out. They're like, who is doing this? This is an unnatural storm. And Jonah tells him, he's like, this is happening because I disobeyed God. And you see here is like everyone suffers because Jonah didn't want to listen. He didn't want to focus on his mission and embrace what he was supposed to do. So everyone on the ship is now suffering. Jonah's like, the only way to solve this is if you throw me overboard. And the crew's like, okay, well, we're sorry. They're like,
no problem.
Right. They say, God, like they're like, God, we're sorry. We got to throw Jonah over, man. So they throw him over and it instantly gets calm. And then a fish, a giant whale comes, it swallows Jonah and he spends the next 3 days in the belly of a whale. And then in that time, he's praying. He's like, God, I'm sorry. And it just reminds me of like, I'm sorry that I got comfortable. I'm sorry that I didn't heed the call. The call to action was to go to Nineveh. That was his mission. For a lot of us, we have something that's the same thing. We have a call. Life is like, hey man, I need you to take up more responsibility. I need you to stop being lazy. I need you to step up to the plate. You got a family to take care of. And then we don't do that. We get comfortable and now things get bad. That's when a lot of us hit rock bottom. I feel like the belly of a whale is an analogy or a metaphor for hitting rock bottom. And then Jonah, and that's when we get down on our knees and we pray. That's when Jonah was like, God, okay, like, get me out of here, please. 3 days later, the whale spits him out on the beach. And then God says again, okay, I need you to go to Nineveh. And Jonah's like, okay, I'll go, man. Like, imagine being in that dark place, and like starving. What are you gonna not eat for 3 days, man?
Yeah, let me share. Because I had this, that's a good story, because I was saying, like, what happened to him is like he had this opportunity that he had to do. He had to go on this. He knows in his head that he has to, no matter what, eventually he's going to have to go make this trip. But then he avoids it, all this stuff seemingly starts to happen to him. And then like eventually he goes back all the way. He avoids it. He avoids it for so much. For example, you should work out. You can avoid it all you want. Eventually you're going to have to work out. You're going to die young. You're going to be weak. I mean, if you're a male and you're not working out, we can talk about this all day, but I know you want to talk about it. We can drill that into the younger crowd, but it's just like waking up, you got to work out. But if you keep avoiding that and you keep avoiding the opportunity to go into that, you're gonna, you might get sick, you might break your finger, you might break your arm, you might fall down the stairs. Everything is just going against you because you're avoiding what you're supposed to do and you're not listening. And that's kind of what you're saying, where it's like if you don't listen and you just choose to like lay down and go under your covers, you're gonna start getting more depressed and more depressed, and sad and sad and sad and sad. Yeah, and it's gonna keep on.
And another thing, like put away the childish ways. I was reading about Julius Caesar recently. That book that we on Audible, and there was literally like this thing that he would do when he was becoming the Roman Emperor. He would put on the toga of manhood. It was like symbolic for getting away from his childish ways. And he even gave up a toys. I believe like he sacrificed one of his like teddy bears or something. But he would put on the toga of manhood. There's a special word for it. And it was just like okay, I'm leaving behind. I'm cutting away from my childish ways. I'm becoming a man. I'm taking up more responsibility. I'm not, I have to lead these people now. And I think a lot of us are having a very difficult time, especially in these days, leaving some stuff behind, taking up more responsibility, and becoming men. And that's a real fight for.
Well, because it's just difficult to be the leader. I mean, you don't want to do all the little things, but you have to be the grunt. Like I was listening to Elliot Holt's video, and he was just saying like, if you're married, you have to be that leader of your family. You have to do the grunt work, take out the trash, do the dishes, vacuum, clean, mop, clean the dust, do everything as a grunt, everything. Because you're not a king. You're still like your family needs to look up. You need to be that dude who is like doing all of that stuff.